I am doing a jersey swap today. So first I searched up Thomas Hurdle. I tried to get some pictures to put him in a Kings jersey, but I couldn't really find some because none of them really worked. And in the top, I put in large images so it would have good quality when I put it in the Pixlr and I could zoom in. So then I searched Evander Kane and I found this image, and I chose this image because he doesn't have a helmet, and helmets are hard to do in Pixlr. So I chose this image without him having a helmet, and he's also in a black jersey, so if I miss a little spot, it won't be too obvious. Right now, I'm just cutting him out so I can edit him without changing the background, and I can just have him alone. I'm using the lasso cutout tool, and I'm using the second one, not the round one, because the round one you have to follow with your mouse, and the straight one you just click and it goes there. And I just circle all of him. So now I have him cut out, and I just put him on an empty image without a background, and I'm removing all the spots like between his arms where there's background, but it wasn't I couldn't reach it in the just when I was cutting him first. Usually when you do like the whole player, this is like in between the legs and in between the skates. So now I'm trying to find a picture of a Kings player with like parts of his jersey that match what Evander Kane is his position is like. I found this image of Drew Doughty, but then it was a Reebok jersey, so the jersey is different than it is now. It's an older picture. So I search Drew Doughty and I look for pictures that are newer, so I get a newer jersey and I find this one. So what I do is I cut out the shoulder, I try to figure out where the collar is, and eventually I figure it out, and I just put the shoulder on and I put it on him. And then I use the Edit Free Distort tool under the edit bar, and that will just allow me to move it freely. And then I just do this, and then I put Evander Kane over the shoulder in the layers so I can cut out the part that goes over his actual shape. And then I cut over his face, and then I do the same thing with the other shoulder. Now that I have the shoulders complete, I start to work on the collar, and you'll see me renaming layers, and I do that because once there's a ton of layers, it'll be hard to understand if they're all titled like image dot. So I do the collar, and I couldn't really find any good images, so what I do is I look on the NHL shop to see like how the collar works, and it goes around the whole back. So you'll see me using a clone stamp tool, and the clone stamp is you just copy one part of a layer and you paste that same texture, that same color to another part. And you'll see me zooming in because I don't want to go over the shoulder and I want to make it look all natural. And what I do, I try to just copy this bottom segment, but it doesn't really work, so I just color it in. So it looks weird to me, so I shortened it, and it made it look a little better, but still look weird. So I made it darker, and that fixed the problem. So now I just try to get the front of the jersey. So to get the front of the jersey, I just cut out the front of the jersey and place it on him. So I'm looking for better ones, and eventually I find this one. It's nice and upfront, it's good quality, so I take it and I just put it on. And I make the layer transparent so I can line up the logos so it works. And here I just search up Sharks versus Kings to see how the logos match up, and they're pretty much in the same spot. So here I'm cutting around like the arm, so I can delete the front of the jersey that goes over the arm, so it looks like the arm is over the jersey. And then I delete that part over the arm because I want jersey just being the front of the jersey and not the arm of the jersey. The arm is a whole different thing that I'll do later. So I cut out the shape of the jersey, and that I just color in black. So I cut it out because so then when I colored, it wouldn't be able to go over. So then I line it up because it didn't look the best. So then I just do that same process again. I color over the C because Evander Kane won't be the captain of the Kings if he plays for them. So I just get rid of that to make the image look better, and I adjust the darkness and the tint so it matches better with the rest, because I don't want to have like a dark shoulder and then a really bright logo. That's one of the giveaways. So now I do the stripes, and I just copy the color and I just trace that stripe. You can see that I have the stripe going over where the colors on the elbow are. So I delete that part, and I just get this image where it has the thing. The color is pretty bright and pretty, so you can see easily. And I just use the distort tool, and I put it in, and then I put Evander Kane over it. And then I use the clone stamp tool to just color it in and make it match up with the arm. The right side of the elbow looks weird, so I try cutting that out, including the arm, and that just makes him look really skinny. So I put it back, and I used the clone stamp tool to just finish out the elbow, and it looks a little better. So now I just fix that part up a little to make it look better, and I just play around with it, try to make it look better, and I can't really find anything. So now I just do this part. It's not that different, so I just color it in black. It makes it look good. So then I just copy the process on the other side. It's a little harder on the other side, but it's the same process. I make the right elbow transparent so I can line it up with the two stripes on this jersey, so it's the actual size. Because on the other side I was just guessing, and on this side I have an actual part of the jersey to go off on. That makes it a little easier, and it just looks really big, so I just cut off a little part of his jersey that's like flapping around in the back because of the speed, and I just draw the stripe in, color the color from there, but the color from there is a little lighter, so I just get this color here. I think I color over it to make it all the same color, yeah. So then I make it darker, and it looks better. So now I just add the stripe at the bottom of the sleeve, like the other side, and now it looks like a Kings jersey. So now what I'm working on is I'm making the number. So I just searched on Google the LA Kings font, and usually it just gives you numbers. So I replicate the number using colors. That doesn't really work, because of the black part that wasn't picked up as black. So I just copy the black part, paste it over, and then I have an actual number with none of those black lines. So I use the distort tool to make it match with how it should look, and I put Evander Kane over the number so I can cut off the part that goes over the jersey. And here I colored the arm black, so it made it darker, and it made it made it unmatched with the shoulder. So I matched the shoulder with the arm, and that made it look better. So I do the same thing on the other side. I make that part black. For some reason, when I was changing the shoulder, it made that stripe darker in that section. So I fixed that. So I'm putting the number here. It's the same thing, using the distort tool and putting Evander Kane in front, so I can just cut out the part that goes over. And then once I have that, I just color the rest in the original image black, because the number is a different layer, so I can color that image black and it doesn't touch the number. So now I'm just doing some touch-ups, and I merged layers so it's one big thing, and it's not a ton of little layers, and I can move it around, and I just put them in position. for the background. So now I'm working on a background. I'm almost done here, but I'm just making the background. I get logo of the Kings. I just have his name. I make his first name a little smaller because you want to like accent his last name. So then I look for the city of LA, something that would make it noticeably LA, and I couldn't really find one. So I look for Staples Center during a Kings game, and I find a good image. And I make that the right size, and I put it in the back. I make the text a different color so it stands out more. I make the background darker so Evander Kane, the logo, and the text stands out. I put a shadow on Evander Kane so it stands out, and this is the final image.